Now, 25 tigers are missing from Ranthambore, says an internal report by the Wildlife Department. These tigers have not been tracked for 1 year and are not visible in the camera trap either, sending alarm bells ringing in the Rajasthan government. This comes close on the heels of an incident over the weekend where a tiger was found dead in a village on the periphery of the tiger reserve. The tiger wildlife officials suspect the tiger was killed by village people after it mauled a shepherd to death. Take a look at our report.
"25 tigers could be missing from the Ranthambore Tiger Reserve in Rajasthan, a park that boasts a population of over 75 tigers. But since the past 1 year, a report dated 14th October 2024 says 11 tigers have not been tracked or sighted, and 14 tigers are also reported missing in the past few months. That's a total of 25 tigers missing. The Chief Wildlife Warden of Rajasthan has now constituted a committee to investigate the matter.
अब हमने इसके लिए एक कमेटी कल मैंने गठित की है और वो कमेटी जो है वो इन लोगों की कमेटी है। इनके जो टर्म्स ऑफ रेफरेंस जो दिए गए हैं वो बड़े क्लियर दिए गए हैं कि भाई एक तो पहले आप ये देखें, सारे रिकॉर्ड की छानबीन करें, पहले तो आप सारी मॉनिटरिंग रिपोर्ट्स देखें। दूसरा ये है कि अगर कोई किसी की लापरवाही या वो सामने आती है तो आप उस पर जो है वो कार्रवाई भी करें, कार्रवाई के प्रस्ताव जो है वो आप हमको भिजवाएं। तीसरा ये है कि अगर कुछ सुझाव कमेटी अपना देना चाहती है तो वो सुझाव भी वो हमें दे सकती है।
The missing tigers come close on the heels of another incident in Ranthambore over the weekend, where a 10-year-old male tiger was found stoned to death in a village on the periphery of the national park.
पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट में इनके शरीर में दो तरह के चोटें दिखाई दिया, कुछ इसका पैरों में और इसका अंडर पार्ट्स में, और बाकी इसके ऊपर की तरफ मुंह की तरफ कुछ शार्प ऑब्जेक्ट से वार किया हुआ जैसा बोन से, जिसमें बोन्स, स्कल का बोन सारे फ्रैक्चर्ड है और रिब्स फ्रैक्चर्ड है, हिप बोन में भी।
The post-mortem of the killed tiger has also not ruled out the use of explosives for the crime, leading to worries that tigers in the national park are vulnerable to attacks by human beings and possibly even poaching. With Sushant Parikh in Jaipur, Harsha Kumari Singh, NDTV.
And now my senior colleague Gargi Rawat, who has been writing about tiger conservation and environment for several years, is joining me. Gargi, a very good morning to you. Take us through the possible reasons behind these 25 missing tigers and what steps is the reserve taking so that such incidents do not reoccur?
Right, Aditi. Now, as Harsha said in that particular report, that this is a cause for alarm. This has raised a lot of concern in Ranthambore, one of the most successful tiger parks in the country, a park which has 75 tigers, and where one knows it's very, very popular with tourists. People come from across the world, in fact, to see tigers in Ranthambore, and because of that, there is a lot of attention on this park. Given this situation, it's quite shocking that 25 tigers are said to be missing. And when we say missing, it's because no evidence of these tigers has been seen for quite some time during the monitoring work that takes place in the park. And this has, of course, the park has 75 tigers, and that's 1/3 that has gone missing. If we say 25 tigers have not been seen. Now, there are several factors here. One is that many conservationists have been talking about how the park is overpopulated already. It's some 900 square kilometers, and you have a population of 75 tigers. That's really not enough for so many tigers. So yes, there are territorial fights as well, where often older tigers are killed by younger tigers vying for that territory. Then you have dispersal of tigers, which is when tigers move off in search of fresh territories as well. And that is when they come into man-animal conflict very often. And this is something that the Forest Department, if they're monitoring well, they should be aware of what routes the tigers are taking. And this is why conservationists say that we need to have tiger landscape management. So when tigers from Ranthambore may want to move to other areas like Mukundra Hills, which is a fairly new tiger reserve, there should be such corridors existing that they can, move on to safer areas without coming into conflict with people, as what has just recently happened, in which a tiger was killed after a human was killed, and it's considered a retaliatory killing, which is very concerning as well. We don't even know if this is the tiger that killed the man who was herding his goats. So that is something that the forest department will have to look into. Another big concern is, of course, poaching, which there were years, 2 decades ago, when there was a major poaching around Ranthambore, but that was brought into control by the forest department, and a lot of effort was put into that. So they must ensure that that is not one of the issues that we're seeing here, because we also know that around Ranthambore and in Rajasthan, there is a lot of mining that goes on, as a lot of it illegal mining as well. And in these areas, and there are those areas around Ranthambore, if tigers tend to go into those areas, it's happened in the past that they have been killed by the locals and buried, and you find no evidence of them. So all these factors have to be looked into. Hopefully this committee that has been set up, it's a 3-people committee. They've been given a time of 2 months to come out with its report. And we really want to know what has happened to these tigers. And hopefully some of those questions will be answered and steps taken to ensure this doesn't happen further.
Absolutely, Gargi. Thank you so much for joining us with those details.